Awesome to meet you both, and good to see you again. Okay, I don't know if you remember a little song called Candy. You were at a radio station in Dallas, Texas, at Kiss FM. A music director, one of the first to play it in the country, was Dave Morales.
Yes,
It's good to see you again.
Holy cow!
Yeah.
You helped start everything.
I actually did. I mean, we went to lunch
You're
around...
the reason that we're here today.
Yeah, thank you.
Well, no, I don't know about that.
Well,
but we went to lunch around the corner from the radio station because you would come into the market. This is like early tours when they went to radio stations, artists would. And we had lunch and we talked about it. And I'm so proud of you.
Thanks, man.
I followed your career, and I just am like, that's my girl.
Thank you. That means a lot,
good to
man.
see you.
It's good to see you too.
Yeah.
Wow, small world.
It really is. And now I'm doing TV. I left radio about a year and a half ago to do this.
Congratulations.
Thank you. Loving it. And I love this movie. And had you all met before this? Because your chemistry, I swear you two are sisters.
We
real
feel that
life.
way. We feel that way. No, we hadn't met before.
We had not met, but I feel weird saying this because you're sitting next to me, but I can't imagine this experience with anyone other than Claire. Being trapped, I mean, granted, we were 20 feet underwater, we weren't 47 meters down filming the movie, but being trapped 20 feet underwater every day for 8 hours a day, you really have to enjoy the company of the person you're sharing that cage with, and I was very lucky with Claire.
Well, this is an interesting point that you make because this is one of the first movies that actually the majority of the film takes place underwater.
Yes.
So what was that like?
I mean, it was crazy. We had all kinds of intense dive training and bonding experiences, and being underwater, it was a really weird feeling. I think you kind of start to disconnect with reality, and it's this weird, calming sort of feeling being underwater every day.
It was funny. It was this weird juxtaposition of the movie's so intense, and there's a lot of heavy labored breathing because we're obviously in this traumatic situation and circumstance. But when the cameras weren't rolling and we were still underwater, obviously, it was this perfectly peaceful Zen sort of environment because only Claire and I could communicate with one another. We were the only ones that had the full face masks that had microphones in them and whatnot. The rest of the underwater camera crew all just had regular masks and regulators, so obviously they couldn't speak to us. So it was very quiet down there.
Had you gone diving before or done any diving or... Because now you're telling me this, and I'm like, wow, okay, this is real.
No, we learned together. It was off the Anacapa Island, off the coast of California.
Yeah, up by Ventura. We had this expedited sort of mini dive training and had our quick class in the pool, and then the next day we were doing an open water dive with our director.
Yeah, it was a lot.
It was a real bonding experience. Hi, we're gonna be risking our lives together.
I learned that I got seasick, so Mandy was a lovely friend as I was barfing over the side of the boat.
Oh my gosh. Okay, a couple of times I had to remind myself that this is actually a movie because I really felt sorry for you. I was like, oh my gosh, there's my girl. She's about to get eaten. But where do you go mentally? And you too. I was worried about you too. But
don't worry. I feel the same way. That's my goal.
Okay.
I was worried about it.
I said that. I was like, what, Dave? Really? Morales, way to go. But where do you go mentally?
I'm not offended. I feel you.
Where do you go mentally to play a role like that?
It's tough. It was exhausting and physically exhausting, overwhelming at times. We were in this completely foreign space, acting underwater,
which kind of benefited though. It's we would do these sort of mock rehearsals in the morning, sort of in this wooden cage on the ground before we got in the water, and everything. It was sort of it felt like a futile exercise because once we got underwater, everything changes, where you're gonna go, what your reaction is gonna be. Things are a little delayed because you're underwater, so it's the movements aren't going to be as quick, but it was more physically demanding and exhausting, I think, than either of us realized, because we'd get done at the end of the day and come up to go home and just be wrecked and pass out in the car on the way home,
or at lunch when we'd come out of the water and just lying there for an hour because I was so exhausted the whole time.
I'm not a napper, but definitely lunchtime just became nap time because you're just physically wrecked.
Yeah, it was a lot.